The Arizona Coyotes now looking forward. They didn't they didn't get the win over the Edmonton Oilers, but let's take a look forward. They got the Winnipeg Jets coming in. We'll see what and as well as the Dallas Stars. So all that in the next couple of days. Dallas Stars are actually coming up first. We'll talk all about those in this episode of Locked On Coyotes.
You're Locked On Coyotes, your daily podcast on the Arizona Coyotes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Robyn, Leaño, Carl Pavlock right beside me on this wonderful Black Friday. It is November 26th as we all wind down from Thanksgiving. There was no hockey on yesterday. We didn't even have a show on yesterday because, there was no hockey.
Yeah.
And of course it was Thanksgiving. So it's like everyone gets a day off, right?
Yep, everyone got the day off. Nobody got to watch hockey. My sister was asking me to find it on TV while I was with family. I was like, "There's not live hockey today." So just had to sit around and watch Bob Springer's Thanksgiving episodes, which is usually what I do.
There are certain holidays for every sport. Like if you pick a major holiday, you can attach a sport to it. Thanksgiving, that belongs to football.
Yeah.
Christmas belongs to basketball.
Sure.
New Year's is a double one. You got college football and NHL hockey.
Arbor Day, big for lacrosse.
4th of July is a major baseball day.
Yeah. I wish the 4th of July was like a major hockey. If there was like a summer hockey event, that'd be fun. But no, they refuse to do that.
No, wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
The hockey midsummer classic or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like Christmas in July, but hockey season. Like, so there's some thematics. We could make this work. Just get Santa to play on the hockey game.
Christmas in July.
Yeah.
I love it.
Make it happen, Gary Bettman.
Speaking of Christmas, I'm sure people are going to start hearing Christmas music now these days, now that Thanksgiving is over.
Yeah. It was because I used to work retail for Kohl's. I dealt with a lot of Christmas stuff. It was not fun. Like, as soon as Halloween was over, like, we started doing prep for Christmas, and the Christmas music was just wormed its way into my head working retail over and over again.
Oh, when I'm doing a DoorDash shift or just driving around Tucson, I switch between radio channels all the time.
Yeah.
Because obviously, a lot of these rotations have power rotations where they play 3 or 4 songs every hour. I'm just like, oh, okay, come on. And I turned, and then literally right after Halloween, one of the stations down here already started playing Christmas music, and I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah. Plus, you're gonna have it for the restaurants too. You go in, you're waiting for the food to get finished, listening to Christmas music. If you like Christmas music, I'm sure it's great. I'm sure you're really feeling festive. People who seem to like it seem to really like it, and I don't want to, more power to them. But it's kind of just everywhere for those of us who are less inclined to Christmas music.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Maybe every now and then I could jam to Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas," but just not 24/7.
No. Here we go. I have Christmas with Star Wars on vinyl. There's R2-D2 right there. First album to feature John Bon Jovi. That's pretty much all I need for Christmas.
I love it.
Rocking out to Bon Jovi.
Anyways, though, let's get to this weekend's games. One tomorrow and one on Monday, and I count Monday as weekend because Cyber Monday, people still might have the day off. So,
sure. Definitely is going to be some interesting matchups for the Coyotes.
Yeah. Plus, the Roadrunners are all at home this weekend. I will also talk about that in a little bit too. They'll be hosting the new Abbotsford Canucks.
Very nice. Very nice. How has New Abbotsford been doing this year?
Um, I haven't paid attention to them. Let me see, because the AHL is all over the place.
Mm.
Um, the Abbotsford Canucks is in 6th,
In the division or in the league?
and in the Pacific Division.
Okay, because those are two very different things. Of like, let's clarify this one. 6 out of what?
Yeah, 6th um in the division. They have the same amount of points as Tucson does, but they also have one game in hand.
Mm. So pretty even matchup for the Roadrunners. Will be interesting. Uh, Definitely less so for the Coyotes. I think the Coyotes are playing two teams who are definitively better than them. Although how much better, maybe a little bit tough to say. In the standings, they are 8 points behind the Stars, despite the Stars having played 3 fewer games. They are 12 points behind the Jets, with the Jets playing 1 fewer game. So definitely teams that are better than the Coyotes.
So we'll have an interesting weekend to pay attention to.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you are up in the Valley or down in Tucson, a lot of interesting hockey to watch. Got like maybe a potential underdog story coming up here, and then down there, just real solid, evenly matched teams.
I'll be definitely. I'm personally, of course, looking forward to the Tucson game because that's my home. That's my home ground right there.
Yeah,
I'll be down there.
and I will be at the Saturday game against the Stars with a friend who is in from my town for the holiday. So should be a good weekend for everybody.
Oh, should be good indeed. But let's get to first, I guess uh, just shortly the Stars game. 'Cause it is tomorrow.
Sure. I was looking at the Stars a little bit before we started recording. Definitely an interesting team. Didn't do too much in the off season. They're actually set to play tonight, which could be a good thing for the Coyotes. They are matched up against hmm, the Colorado Avalanche tonight at 6:30 Central Time. Could be a team that's maybe a little bit tired when they're facing the Coyotes. Although definitely didn't work out when the Coyotes faced the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah. Oh man. At the same time, we're talking completely different caliber teams here. The Dallas Stars definitely are not the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, this is true. The Stars aren't going to have the likes of a Connor McDavid or a Leon Draisaitl to have like 4 point nights, which I believe they both did on
Hmm.
Wednesday. So yeah, that's like they're not going to have that same kind of star power to like carry them over. So definitely, I think will be maybe a little bit better of an opportunity for the Coyotes facing a team in the second game of a back to back.
Yeah, it might be. It would definitely. It could be nice. I'll put it that way. It could be a nice game. Plus, let's also put it this way: the Coyotes have the longer rest because they haven't played since Tuesday or Wednesday. Sorry, yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah. Coyotes are plenty rested. Hopefully they didn't eat too much last night. Hopefully they like stayed away from some of the pies, and they're not going to have that food coma today. I'm sure they're going to be doing like maybe a light practice, and then yeah, it should be like a good opportunity for like a very fresh team to be facing off against a very tired team.
Yeah, I mean that's also real. Probably some of these athletes probably already celebrated Thanksgiving last month.
Yeah, this is also true. With the large number of Canadians. Probably. But I do know that, like, it's an excuse for extra food. It's an excuse for bonding. Um, yeah, I can imagine, like, especially like if you are like in Texas, which, yeah, you're a Stars player. That's where you're living. Like, maybe get swept up in Thanksgiving in November spirit.
Also, maybe like a little team Thanksgiving, right? That way you know that everyone is going to be watching what they eat
Yeah,
because you have certain things that is going to be designed for a more healthy meal.
of course. And these guys are also like just burning so many calories in their everyday life. They're allowed to splurge a little bit. Like, the stories I hear about, like some of the things they eat after games when they've burned a couple of thousand calories. You're just like, oh yeah, you've earned that. Double up on that gravy. It's fine.
I mean, I'll be real with you. When I ran a marathon, that's the way I was. That's the way I was right after. I'm just like, okay, where's the buffet? I'm hungry.
Just give me all of it, all of the
And all of
food.
it.
Very. It's me on the other hand. I am not going to be able to burn off all the calories I had from Thanksgiving or the Thanksgiving leftovers I'm going to have today. So that's not going to be something I get rid of in a day because I am not a professional athlete. These guys are.
No, I mean, unless you are, one of those people that have a fast metabolism, then
Yeah.
good for you.
If it was like me when I was like 23, then maybe. But I am in my 30s now, so no.
Also, full disclosure, I mean, I don't have a extremely fast metabolism, but I'm on the better side of the spectrum.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I mean, I'm only 24, so
Yeah, so it is an age thing too. Uh, just watch out in the coming years.
yeah, I'll have to watch out.
You got like maybe like 3 years to not worry about it, and then like by the fourth year, you're like, oh, I better start worrying about this.
Yeah, but see, I think as long as I stay away from carbs, am I right?
Sure, yeah, carbs, and sugars. Maybe give up alcohol right now. No more energy drinks, coffee. Yeah, you got a real chance to turn your entire life around, right?
Maybe have one of these instead, right?
Sure.
Gotta love protein bars.
Gotta love them. They're very healthy for you.
Exactly. But anyways, predictions on how tomorrow's game is gonna go.
I think it's gonna be good. I think the Coyotes are gonna have a bounce back. I imagine this one will be. Do you want like a score?
Sure, let's go ahead and give a score for today for that game.
I'm going 3-2 Coyotes regulation.
3-2 Coyotes in regulation. I like it. I'm gonna do 3-1 Coyotes, with that last one being an empty netter.
Nice. That's a good one. Empty netter. I think the Stars don't necessarily have the same offensive threat. The Coyotes have been getting good goaltending. I kind of expect there to be like a low scoring affair.
Bring us more Scott Wedgwood.
More Wedgwood, yes.
More Wedgwood.
Which I do kind of wonder who's going to get the start.
It will be interesting.
Yeah,
We'll see.
definitely.
That's a decision that is up to Dwarney.
Yep. Yes.
But we got more to get to on this show. We are running a little over time on this segment. We still got to talk about the Coyotes and the Winnipeg Jets, and then pretty briefly, even a little bit more into the Tucson Roadrunners and the Abbotsford Canucks. All that coming up on today's show. But first, I want to let you guys know that no one plays daily fantasy sports to lose. Winning feels so much better, but traditional fantasy sports are long-term losing proposition because you never know who or what you're up against. Stat Hero is the first of its kind daily fantasy sports platform where it's you versus the house instead of head-to-head fantasy matchups, winner take all. And the crazy part, Stat Hero shows you their lineups before you play. So you handpick the team you want to face one-on-one. This never-before-seen innovation of fantasy sports And sports betting hybrid has Stat Hero players clocking odds that are over 4 times better. Why? Because you don't have to compete against thousands of experts or unknowns. Stat Hero puts you in control of your fate. With Stat Hero, you are in control of the stakes. You decide how much you're going to play for, and Stat Hero has no choice but to take it because they are daring you to beat them. Stat Hero head to head is what daily fantasy should be, 1-on-1. So you guys can go ahead and sign up for free right now. Go to stathero.com/hockey and use the promo code hockey for a 100% deposit match. That's stathero.com/hockey and using the promo code hockey for a 100% match. Once again, that is stathero.com/hockey and using the promo code hockey. Terms and conditions apply. Okay, so now let's go ahead and talk about the Arizona Coyotes and the Winnipeg Jets. This is a little more mini preview because we'll get back to it once we get back from the weekend.
Sure.
Because this is on a Monday, and we'll probably have a full on pre-game episode. But this is going to be a more difficult game for the Arizona Coyotes because the Winnipeg Jets are a pretty solid team this year.
Yeah. Not one of the top teams, but kind of up there. Definitely a tough matchup for the Coyotes. There is going to be a lot for us to talk about on Monday just because, like, I'm looking at their schedule right now. They play this afternoon, and then they play tomorrow. So Jets are about to have a back-to-back, which could, like, very quickly change things. Like, they're currently on a 4-game losing streak. Like, a successful back-to-back can really turn that around, and they can come in to face the Coyotes with momentum. They could come in like facing like really pissed off that they've lost another 2. Who knows kind of what will happen, but definitely an interesting matchup for the Coyotes.
I mean, especially if you look at who they're playing in the back-to-back that they have this weekend. They have the Minnesota Wild and the Calgary Flames.
Yeah, which 2 of the better teams in the West. Yeah. It's lucky that the Coyotes are getting like some like quality competition to beat up on their opponents for the weekend.
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, that's the kind of thing that the Coyotes are in a better position for. They want to be able to have better opportunities to win, and going up against teams that might be tired. That's definitely an opportunity right there. And I love, and the interesting as I'm saying that they want opportunities to win. Of course, they want opportunities to win, even though we've been talking about tanking all freaking season long.
Yeah,
Because you don't let's be real. Like, yeah, tanking's fine, but you don't want a team to finish with like 10 points on the season. Like,
true. Tanking is also something that we bring up a lot. It's done by the GMs. It's not done by the players. Like these guys are going to go out there and give it their all because they're playing for their jobs, and you don't want to be embarrassed. Like I don't think the Coyotes can take the Winnipeg Jets lightly. They have 2 10-plus goal scorers already in Kyle Connor and Pierre-Luc Dubois. Coyotes do not. They have a couple of 5-goal guys in Clayton Keller and Lawson Krause. But like even though the Jets don't have Line anymore, they still have quite a few offensive threats. They can make a team like the Coyotes pay.
especially if the defense gets caught off guard, if they revert back to the Coyotes of the old and rely way too much on goaltending, which we saw happen at the beginning of this season as well as all last season.
Yeah. Or if they take a bunch of stupid penalties, which is
Mm-hmm.
just been an issue kind of throughout. There's been like a few games where like, okay, you did well, you did good there, but more often than not, they're taking all these penalties, and we can't really have that.
Absolutely. Yeah, penalties is the big one, especially because the Coyotes I think still technically have the worst penalty kill in the league.
Uh, Let me check.
Pretty sure that's the case.
As of this very moment when we're talking now, no, the Coyotes have the third worst. The Jets actually have the second worst. The worst
Oh,
penalty kill in the league is the Vancouver Canucks. Uh,
poor Ekman Larson
yeah,
and Garland.
he's not playing too much on there. Not really too much he can do. Coyotes
Mainly
also
Ekman
no,
Larson.
yeah. The Coyotes don't have the worst power play either. Unfortunately, the Jets have middling, I would say, 18th.
Eh,
Dallas, though, third ranked power play with 28% conversion. I always kind of find that interesting when you see like a team like the Winnipeg Jets, who have like a lot of offensive threats. Like you figure they should be really good on the power play, but they just aren't. And a team like the Dallas Stars, maybe it's a little bit more balanced, higher power play. I always kind of find that very interesting.
Speaking of power play, real quick, who saw this coming? Look at number 31.
31. The Vegas Golden Knights.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they opened
Really
with
poorly.
yeah, and they
They
didn't
were
have a
like
power
zero.
play.
They were like 0 for 26, weren't they? Like,
Yeah, I don't know what it was exactly, but it went deep until they got their first power play. I was just writing like every preview, and the Coyotes had like two power play goals. And like, you would think that they'd be the worst. They're not. The Vegas Golden Knights still don't have one. So that's I do kind of think that one's a little bit of a blip. Like by the time they get Eichel back, I do not imagine the Vegas Golden Knights have the worst power play still.
that's right. They have Eichel.
They do, yes.
But anyways, back to um the Coyotes versus the Jets. The Jets 1.0 and the Jets 2.0.
Yeah. Jets 2.0 and Thrashers 2.0.
Sure.
However you
That
want
would,
to say it.
that would be hilarious.
Yeah. It's fun. I do think the Coyotes and the Jets have like a good kind of uh chemistry in their matchups, just because there is that kind of connection that seems to be downplayed in the media, but not necessarily like on the ice. I always like watching Coyotes Jets games.
They're always fun. I think out of the games I've seen between teams, Coyotes Jets, like at least for a Coyotes game against the Jets, it's always a little more interesting.
Yeah,
Obviously, against the Ducks and the Kings is always like you know like WWE, but
yeah, yeah. It's not that level, but you usually get like a really good in arena atmosphere too for the Jets games. Like Coyotes fans can appreciate that history in a way that just kind of makes it more fun. Whereas something like a Coyotes Boston game, like there's not really any kind of connection there. Even though like it's probably going to be like a larger crowd just because there's a lot of Boston expatriates living in the valley, but like you don't necessarily get the same kind of atmosphere.
idea for an outdoor game, like a somewhat heritage game. Arizona Coyotes wear their OG Winnipeg Jets jerseys, and the Winnipeg Jets wear the Thrashers jerseys.
Oh, I would love that. Or like we've kind of seen like you could just do that, incorporate the color scheme. I do think the Thrashers like that baby blue, like that could be like a decent Jets jersey. That'd be fun.
I would love it. Uh, See, Gary Bettman, we're giving you ideas.
Yes, we
Listen
all
to
know
us.
Gary Bettman is listening to this podcast. It's why we're gonna have Santa play in July, and we're gonna have a nice heritage game.
I mean, let's be real. What else is Gary Bettman doing?
I'm sure he's overseeing no crises right now, so this is fine. He's got time to kill.
Absolutely. Anyways, we still got more to get to on this show. We're going to talk some Tucson Roadrunners. They host the Abbotsford Canucks. who just joined the league, or not really joined the league. They relocated from across the country to join the Pacific Division. To put it that way. We'll talk about that weekend incoming up to sec. But first, a quick word from Carl.
So it's Thanksgiving season still, and we all know what that means. Football. Just because the turkey's over doesn't mean football stopped. And nothing goes better with football and turkey than betting. BetOnline has you covered all this holiday season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all sports action this Thanksgiving season. Head over to the new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus using the promo code LOCKEDON. And it's not just football. BetOnline has pro and college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, even your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite sports. BetOnline, we're stuffed with deals this Thanksgiving.
Speaking of college football, Carl, you know what also Thanksgiving season means? Thanksgiving weekend.
What is?
It's the Dole in the Desert tomorrow.
I have not been keeping up. I have
It's
seen
like
people.
every freaking year.
I don't pay attention.
Well, mostly every year. Was that the way last year too? I can't remember. No, it wasn't last year because of COVID weird stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's how it is almost every year, and I'm just hoping it's not another blowout like last time.
But blowouts are fun. It's nice to miserate on the tough loss like that.
But 70-7, Carl.
It's bad. It's really bad. It's very, very bad. But look, we're laughing now. We're having a good time.
Well, Tucson and University of Arizona fans, we're not laughing.
Sure, you're not. You can see the absurdity in the situation. You can still appreciate that.
Sure. Sure.
Plus, you got like a professional hockey team now that you can focus all your stuff on. It doesn't have to be about the college.
That's what makes things better. I can cover a professional hockey team that is doing pretty all right for themselves. The Tucson Roadrunners are looking to get their bounce back after a bad last season. This year they're a little off and on. They're not as good as I still anticipated. Right now they're 8th in the Pacific Division, but
it doesn't help that the Coyotes have taken a lot of their players,
and it doesn't help that the Stockton Heat have only lost like one game in regulation, and the Ontario Reign only like 2 games in regulation. So,
dang, so tough competition, a depleted roster. Yeah, I can see that. Like, it is crazy, and I think we talked about it on Wednesday. Like, how many Roadrunners are or players who started with the Roadrunners are with the Coyotes right now?
mm-hmm.
It's like the injuries have taken everyone, which is what the AHL franchise is for, but also they have their own season that they're playing. They're looking to get success and just give someone plenty more opportunity to someone below them.
I'll give you some perspective here to everyone listening that 3 of the Coyotes' top 10 scorers are currently up with the Coyotes.
So 3 of the Roadrunners' top 10 scorers are up with the Coyotes?
3 of the top. Yeah. Hudson Fasching, Jan Yannick, and Cam Dineen.
And that's 2 forwards and a defenseman. That's some tough things. Like, I do think if the Coyotes like the Timmins injury really kind of reset the Coyotes' defensive needs in a way that I don't think anyone was really expecting. So that's going to have like a major impact on what the Roadrunners are doing too.
Absolutely. But at least the Coyotes the Roadrunners still have their top scorer overall in Matias Maccelli.
Matthias Michelli. Is Ben McCartney
Ben
up?
McCartney, no, he's down. He's only played 8 games, but 7 points in 8 games.
It's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Very impressive. Yeah. So you said Abbotsford 6, Roadrunners 8. I do think that's a pretty even matchup, all things considered.
I'm curious who's on. If there's anyone, I'm gonna actually take a look at the Abbotsford roster, see if there's anyone that like. Because I love looking at the rosters ahead of time to see if there's like some interesting like prospects coming up.
Oh, yeah.
And
Especially like on the AHL level, where you're already getting those like really interesting prospects.
and I don't recognize any of these people. No. Justin Bailey sounds familiar, but
Justin Bailey does sound familiar. Drafted by the Sabres. Looks like.
oh,
Son of
holy
a
crap!
former Bills linebacker.
You know who's a defenseman for the Abbotsford Canucks?
Who?
Travis Hamonic.
Really?
He,
How, what?
he's only played 1 game. Probably
I'm like
that was a conditioning stint. Probably.
probably.
I was looking at their roster. I'm like, what? That doesn't make sense. Why would he be down there?
Agreed to PTO with the Canucks during the offseason. 1 year, 1.25 million. Yeah, it looks like that was last year. I wonder if he's like is he injured? No, that is weird.
What's funny is they also have a guy named John Stevens, who I hope is like it confused me. So like, did a coach just decide to go play minor league hockey? I'm like, oh wait, no, it's just a different John Stevens.
Just a super generic name.
Yep.
But yeah, so could be a sign that we're not doing enough scouting on the Vancouver prospect pool. But it could just be that this is just not necessarily the most dynamic AHL roster. I'm trying to think of how I see the Vancouver Canucks as an organization, because that usually tells me a lot about how their AHL team's doing.
But
And I can
even then though, like on a lot of these teams, like on Ontario, Henderson, whatever, like you can go out and probably name 1 or 2 prospects. Like
yeah. You're not putting me on the spot, are you?
no, I'm not putting you on the spot. I mean, you can try if you want to, but
Absolutely not. No, I do not. But yeah, no, it will definitely be an interesting one. I don't think I'm going to be able to watch the game, but I'll definitely be keeping a close eye on the score sheet.
yeah, and there's 2. They have tonight as well as tomorrow. So now obviously, if the Roadrunners always play back to backs
Yeah.
every weekend.
So if you're in Tucson, like, and you're standing in line to get a giant television, like, take that home and then go watch the game, and then come back tomorrow, watch the game. They're at home, right?
They're at home, and
Okay.
I'll be at both of them, maybe, probably. Sometimes I get caught up in other work.
Yeah. It's it'll be something that you can report back on Monday's episode.
Exactly, and that's a good thing. Maybe I can get some more audio from Jay Verde or from any of the players. We'll see. I'm sad that I don't get to talk to Liam Kirk, but
Yeah. Well, with him missing the rest of the season, maybe there'll be an opportunity for us later.
we'll see.
Yeah.
We will see. I can make my prediction for this weekend too. Roadrunners split. It's gonna
Road-
be they'll win the first one in regulation, and I'll say 5-3,
Nice.
and then they'll lose the next one in OT. Lower score 4-3.
Okay.
Obviously, only one lower score, but
Yeah, yeah. I feel it. Yeah. I'm actually gonna refrain from making predictions for the Roadrunners just because I don't know enough about how well they've been playing lately. I
you
was
know
actually
what?
kind of surprised at their standings.
You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna look at the odds for today's game. It's a pick 'em. But if you can pick the Roadrunners, it's plus 111,
Nice.
plus 149 if you do the money line.
If you are, if you're out there, you're spending money today, maybe throw a bet to the Roadrunners.
Maybe, who knows? But that's gonna do it for today's episode. We're running long. Hope you guys like what you heard. If you did, don't forget to leave a review, like, comment, subscribe if you yet to already. We're available on YouTube and everywhere you get your podcasts. Also, don't forget to find us on social media. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/LockedOnCoyotes, on Twitter at LO_Coyotes. I'm personally at Robyn with a Y _ Leaño, as less spelled Leano. Carl Pavlock is at Carl Pavlock FFH. Interact with us, ask us a question you might have. We might answer those questions on a future episode of the Locked On Coyotes podcast. Thanks again, everyone, for listening to today's episode. Hope you guys are staying safe out there. Hope you guys are staying healthy. And don't forget to howl on.